but they've been such a blessing.
Yeah, but 4? How did, I mean, were they all accidents?
No.
You planned 4 times. With the same father?
No.
How many fathers?
I have 2.
Why did you do that?
Well, sometimes you make mistakes that turn out to be a blessing in disguise.
Well, everyone has to say that when they have a kid, all right? But in the first place, you're admitting it was a mistake.
Well, just the fathers were a mistake. I shouldn't have children with the men that I chose. I made bad choices.
Why'd you have kids without being married to these kids?
I was married to the first one, not the second one.
Oh, so I asked you if you were a single mother when you had all 4 kids. You said yes.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was married to my first 2 sons' father.
And then why did you have kids with another guy that you weren't married to?
Because I was very fertile. My factory has been shut down now.
4 kids?
I know, but they're wonderful. They really are.
Everyone says that.
No, they are.
Everyone says that.
I know, but they are. I know.
I'd like to ask your neighbors if they think so.
My neighbors love my kids.
Oh, really?
Really? And they're proud of me. Hey, I got asked to my son's prom last year by one of his friends.
Oh, too bad you can't get knocked up again.
Oh, God, no. I haven't dated in 2 years, though, Tom. I've given up, man. My ex was a doozy.
You picked him.
Pardon? Oh, yes, I did. It was my fault.
No.
And I've taken full responsibility for that.
Good.
But not all women look bad when they're pregnant. I'd say 99% of them do, but there's a few that...
you know, I never use the word all, okay? But...
I know that.
Generally speaking,
they
eat like pigs and they look like big fat hogs.
Yes.
Then you got Cindy Crawford, okay, and a couple others who looked okay. Brooke Burke was pregnant. She looked okay.
Yes, she was.
But there's not a lot of those.
I was one of those. My sons are on the other side of the window right now in their bedroom listening to this, cracking up.
Oh, cool. And how old are your kids?
17, going to be 18, 16, 10, and just turned 5.
You started cranking them out at 20.
So I had the first one at 21. I got married at 18. What the hell was I thinking?
Well, see, that's what I always say. Say that loud and clear so everybody can hear it.
What the hell was I thinking?
That's right.
Girls, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Crew, prepare for departure. Begin final checklist. Engine temperature, check. Vodka temperature, check. Martini shakers, check. Cue announcer and go announcer.
From the cockpit, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
You ever been in a cockpit before?
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Nate writes in, hello, Tom. I have a roommate who is screwing this fat, utterly disgusting, big-assed bitch. I came home the other day to find the two of them going at it, and it just really grossed me out. It's just nasty. I really have to draw the line when it comes to who I'll screw based on size. As far as I'm concerned, anyone over 130 is just gross. What do you think, Nate? Well, clearly, weight has to do with height. You know, if you're 4'11" and 130 pounds, you know what? You're fat. If you are 6 feet tall and 145, you're not fat. Dean, that's not fat. Now, you know what? I call a lot of chicks fat, but 6 feet tall. 6 feet. Taller than me, about your height, okay? Come on. 145 would be okay. 130 would be a little thin. A little too thin. Ever been with a chick who's so thin that her bones stick out so much, like she bumps into you, it's like bumping into a dresser drawer that you left open? Ow! Chick lies on top of you and you can feel her whole rib cage. That's too thick. But this email brought up a lot of thoughts in my mind, but the one I'm going to focus on here is this. We've talked on the air about the necessity for guys to keep active. Now, if you've ever watched baseball, and I know in the United States, people who like baseball under the age of 50, that number is dwindling dramatically. And we'll talk one day about why that is. But if you've ever watched baseball or paid attention to it, as you know, you've got a starting pitcher, and then you've got guys warming up in the bullpen, and we've used this analogy before, but let's try it in a different way here. You know, there are guys who are in the game, to take the baseball analogy all the way out. There are guys who are in the game. They are currently playing. Think of those guys as the guys who are getting late. And then there are the guys who right now can't find any tail. We talk to a lot of you. Okay. These guys are warming up in the bullpen. They can't wait to get into the game, but they never get into the game. Now, what I tell the boys is, you know, you got to throw some live batting practice once in a while. And so what you do is, look, if you can't find anybody, this is where the fat and homely chicks come in handy. I'm talking about those of you who have reached absolute dirt bottom, okay? You're at the bottom. You can't find anybody who would be remotely attractive. And what I have recommended is you keep your arm loose by continuing to lob in those warm-up tosses with chicks you would never be caught dead with, chicks you wouldn't be seen with, okay? I have told you boys many times that the fat and homely girls can and will do anything. And this does a couple of things for you. One is, keeps your pitching arm in shape. Two is, you know, these chicks, because they're freaks, because they literally do anything to satisfy a guy because they can't get guys, you can actually pick up a trick or two along the way from these chicks. I mean, some of these chicks are real freaks. And you can pick up information that you can later use on attractive chicks. So, I know that a number of you do this. And I'd be lying to tell you that in my earlier years, when I was not rich and successful, I had my share of chicks who were just not up to standard. And the purpose of it was, I don't know. I was broke. I couldn't afford to go out. You know, it's when I was working at those radio stations making $160 a week, and I was working 6 days a week, and I was working till midnight, and I answered that request line, and the fat and homely chicks who always have the best voices, as everybody in radio knows, they're the sultriest, sexiest sounding chicks there are. You know, at 11:30, hi, what time do you get off? It's like, as soon as I get to your front door, dear. And so you say yes to these chicks. I'll never forget, there was one chick when I was working in Albany, New York, had a Russian accent. And, you know, if you've read, Perfect 10 or even Playboy, you know, a lot of these chicks from Eastern Europe now, because a lot of them just have naturally large breasts for whatever genetic or biological reason. You know, you see these chicks on TV and you think, oh, God, she's smoking, right? So I had this one chick who was Russian. She called me up, told me to come over. And not only that, she lived like right near the radio station. So I got in my pale yellow 1976 Chevy Nova. The one that the oil light never went off no matter how much oil you put in it. The one that had no heat or air conditioning, and I was living in upstate New York where winter is like a 7-month-a-year proposition. And I proceeded to drive from the radio station up on Old Smoltz Road in Glendale, New York. I got in that car and I drove about 2 miles to this apartment complex. It looks like every apartment complex you've ever seen on Cheaters. You know, you could call this place the Now Renting Apartments, because it's one of these places where people are constantly moving in and out. No, they didn't even have carports, Dean. What they had was just like, you know, some blacktop and some lines painted on it right outside the apartment. You had to hope that somebody wasn't having a party or you couldn't park near your own place. So I arrived at this woman's apartment at like, 12:30 a.m. after my midnight shift had ended. And when I got there, this chick opened the door. There's a Russian chick, okay? And not only did she have a hairstyle from like 1964, my guess is she was living in the Soviet Union with like old copies of Vogue magazine and thought this was still like in. Kind of one of these old Doris Day numbers. Not only that, she was huge. Now, she did have incredibly enormous breasts. Huge, but she was not only fat, but one of these fat chicks who's also, like, in bed. You ever know somebody like this? Somebody who's not only big and fat, but, like, they come home from work, and they change into their pajamas or their nightgown or whatever, and then they go right to the refrigerator and take out, chicken or ice cream or whatever. Then they go to bed. And they sit there in bed, turning the channels on the TV and talking on the phone once in a while. And, like, that's it. Their time at home is in bed. So you have to imagine that a chick that sits in bed and eats dinner in bed and talks on the phone all the time and calls guys at the radio station and she's chunky. You got to imagine that being that she's in bed all the time, she probably knows what to do sexually. And she was wild. But I could never be seen anywhere with her. The only places I ever saw this chick were at her apartment, and I felt dirty. And I don't mean dirty in a good way. I mean, I walked in there, and I'm like, what have I sunk to? I had better chicks before I got into the radio business, because now I'm like at the bottom end. It's like I'm on Skid Row. But you know what? I had to keep the old arm loose, baby. So I went over to her apartment and gave her a ride, and thing is, she completely appreciated it, and it was wonderful. But, thing is, of course, no guy has probably passed through that door in like a year. So the minute I showed up more than 2 or 3 times to get gassed up, or to gas her up, the minute I did that, she starts getting territorial and possessive, and it's like, you know what? I'm coming over here and I'm banging you, but there is not the minute somebody halfway attractive comes along, I'm out! Out! But we've all had one, or maybe 2. Some of us have had more, depending on how well our lives have gone. I want to talk to you if you have one right now. A right now girl. Somebody that you are banging now, but you don't want your friends to know it, you don't want your relatives to know it, you don't want the guys you work with knowing about it. You're going over, she opens the door, you bang away, and then you get the hell out of there, because the longer the conversation is, the more you're going to get into questions you don't want to answer. Do you have a right now girl? A girl you will never marry, never take seriously, never date. Not because she's beautiful, but a slut. No. Because she's fat and homely, or both. Or fat or homely, or both. What is she? Have you had to have that awkward conversation with her? You know the one. You've been coming over here now for a few weeks, and I'm beginning to wonder, like, where this is going. And you sit looking at this chick with her gut hanging out. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Have you got somebody like that right now?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
Tell these people they're freaks, but you know what? That's one of the reasons I listen, because they're absolutely hysterical.
You want to hear all the freaks.
Exactly.
And nobody has more freaks listening than Tom Leykis.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Okay. I always tell the boys, if you absolutely, positively cannot get laid, this is what fat and homely chicks are for. Just don't be seen in public. That's it. Do you have somebody like this right now? A right now girl? Steve on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
All right, Steve.
Check this out. I got this girl I work with. She's about 140, 145, even 150 sometimes. The girl wants nothing from me. All she wants to do is give me oral. She's so happy. She's so excited that a guy like me would be interested in her. She doesn't even want to call me. And I use her in between the, my 8 and 9s.
Wow. There we go. So when you've got nobody, you go to her, or you just augment what you have with her?
It's like this. If my buddies knew, they'd think I was crazy.
Right.
But on those nights where my regular girls aren't around, it could be Saturday, Friday at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I call her up. She comes over. I get the oral. She leaves.
And you don't have to do anything.
Tom, I don't even got to spend the $40 on.
I lost you there. That's the chick with the really low self-esteem. The chick who will give you oral sex and then doesn't expect you to do anything in return. Wow. It's Peter on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, I got one word for you, Tom. The Internet. That's all I got to say to you, buddy.
Really?
I have a girlfriend. She's not that great in bed, whatever like that. Very, very boring. So what I tell her is, baby, I work in the morning. I don't want to stay over, things like that. Okay, fine. I keep her because she pays my bills, okay? I just want to tell you that.
She pays your bills?
Yes, she pays some of my bills. Oh, baby, I'm a little short this month. How about you just pick up my cell phone bill, things like that.
And she does that?
And she does that.
Really?
She doesn't want me to leave. So I go home, and I go on the chat lines. I go on to a local chat line with local girls, things like that. And basically, they just sort of pop up. I put my picture on and everything like that. My girlfriend now doesn't have a computer or anything, so she doesn't, no clue on this or anything. So I was basically, hey, baby, how you doing? And then I found this one. Lives about an hour away from me. Basically, I went there, we set it up, I went there.
Big fat hog like every other chick on the Internet, for Christ's sake.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
You bet it is at 1-800-5800-TOM. And here we are at 1-800-5800-866 in case you can't spell. It's Danny on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom,
Danny.
long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Yeah, just saying, you got an awesome show. You're doing some real good work here.
Thank you.
Yeah, but, you're saying something earlier that really moved me. It really, really caught me, and it's about those right girls, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Everybody's had them. You know what? No matter how hot the chicks are today that I know and, of course, have been involved with, it doesn't matter. In the previous days, years ago, I had my share, too. We've all been there. It's just like people admitting that they drank Thunderbird or that they lived homeless for a while. We've all done this.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about with these right now girls. Like, I'm only 21 years old. I'm seeing this chick. I'm not seeing her. I see her for booty call, and that's about it. She's 25, overweight, not too pretty at all, and I treat her like absolute garbage, and she wants more and more every time. Like, and it's just, you know what I mean? It just drives her crazy. Like, you treat a girl good, and she'll walk all over you. You treat her bad, and she's gonna be eating out of the palm of your hand.
That's exactly right.
And that's exactly what I learned from you. I listened to your show, and this is what I caught on, and
And, like, I'm not lying. Like, these girls are no prize pig here or anything. But, you know what I mean? I still got them eating out of the palm of my hand, and that's sweet regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, don't get me wrong. I still get, you know, my fair share of good-looking girls. And the girls that are like that, you know, I do treat them well, but not these girls. Not, you know, not the bar chick that, you know, call up at 2 in the morning after you've been drinking with buddies, right? So,
yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Now, Danny, again, you prove my point that there are as many of us out there who have done this, who have been in that position. And I, as a radio personality who gives advice, I recommend that if you can't get anyone, go with one of these behind closed doors where nobody will see you. If nothing else, once you realize how pathetic you are, it will motivate you to get a better job, get some more education, make some more money, get yourself together physically, whatever. It will motivate you. No doubt about it. Paul on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing?
All right, Paul.
All right. Well, you know, I actually kind of got like a weird variation on this. I actually have a hot girlfriend, and I've been cheating on her with kind of a chunky 18-year-old. She's actually pretty obese, actually. The thing is, the reason I even got into it, well, I was pretty drunk, and my best friend swore to it that, like, younger girls who are, like, pretty fat are actually kind of fun because their skin's still kind of taut, you know, and they're not loose everywhere. And I tried it, and I like it. I mean, and the best thing about it is that when the girl got mad, the fat one, and she actually went to my clique and kind of told my girlfriend and my friends that she'd been sleeping with me. Nobody believed her. Nobody at all.
It's the perfect crime.
Yeah. It's
Look at her, honey. Can you see me having sex with that pig?
Yeah, like people just laughed it off. Like, yeah, get out of here. Like, threw stuff at it. You know, it was sad, but then again, it was a beautiful thing.
Ah, so you're still getting away with it. Is she still doing you?
Yeah, you know, she keeps coming back.
Even after she busted you, she's still doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to hell, and I'm taking all you guys with me.
Don't worry. We'll all be there when you get there, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
I'm here to help. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Angelo on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Angelo.
What's up, Pop?
Do you care, pal?
Yes, I do. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Doing great, son.
Got a call for you. Here you go. My boss and I had a big argument over some money issues. He would not give me a raise. So I decided to give his wife a raise. The Leykis 101 way, you know?
No.
Gave her the facial treatment, everything. She's a big, fat, stapled stomach, chunky, breast, cottage cheese, breast smell like carnation milk.
Wow.
And I'm still doing her.
Listen to that. And he has no idea.
Nope.
And your friends have no idea.
Nope.
And
I gave my 2 weeks notice already.
Angelo, you're not only evil, you're particularly enjoying it.
Celebrating the
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. Do you have a right now girl? Somebody that you go over to her place late at night. She's chunky. She's ugly. She's fugly. Your friends don't know about her. Your family doesn't know about her. Your coworkers don't know about her. Maybe now you've been letting her give you a little BJ here once in a while, and now she thinks that it's love, which it isn't. She's just a right now girl. She's there right now until you find somebody who could show their face in public with you. Let's say hi here to Art on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Art.
Yeah, I've got one of those women in my life.
You have?
Oh, yes.
What's your deal? I guess the question is, why do you have someone like that in your life?
Well, after I got split from my wife, I just lost my confidence for a while, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I met this woman on the Internet, and she will do anything. I mean, anything.
Really?
She is a freak. she wants to be tied up and spanked and all that weird stuff. And
right.
It's interesting, you know.
Now, does she think that this is the potential relationship she's been looking for?
Well, she thinks I'm her soulmate.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about time for me to give her the heave-ho, and that's sort of where I'm at right now.
You've got a forklift.
Yeah.
How big is she?
Big. Over 250, 260, something like that.
260?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Just a mess.
That's bigger than me, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's bigger than a lot of us.
Woo-wee. And she actually thinks that this is love.
Oh, yeah. And that's why she's doing all these things for me, because we're building a relationship.
Does she, send you cards and teddy bears?
Well, she sends me all this Internet stuff, the Internet cards and emails and all that. I don't allow her to come to my house or anything like that.
Does she know where you live?
No.
Oh, good. Let's keep that going.
And now she wants to know why I'm not telling her these things.
Because you're 260 pounds!
Freak.
Wow. So, how much time do you think there is before you're going to just dump her?
Oh, 2 days, probably. I'll probably go over and get one more.
One more and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Well, Art, thank you for your story.
All right.
Aren't these heartwarming stories? 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. John on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much, John.
I got the perfect crime. It's my roommate's buddy. You know what? I sat there and, it's my buddy's roommate. My buddy, how this chick became his roommate was he put an ad out needing a roommate. And this chick showed up, and she's 5 foot tall and weighs 210 pounds around there, right?
Right.
But her friend is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So my friend was like, I'll let her stay, and so he can work on the best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go over there every once in a while, and one night I got drunk and stuff, and my buddy and the girl went for a walk, and this chick comes over, and she's just like, whatever you want to do, it's cool with me. And so, of course, I went for it, and look, I wouldn't. And so anyway, since then, I've been doing...
Well, a lot of guys, if they can do better, would say no.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not saying it's the alcohol.
I mean, I'll tell you what, today I would say no.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You know what, though? It was fun. I will tell you. I'm not a chubby chaser, and I don't like big girls like that, but slapping that big ass and some of the stuff this chick does, my girlfriend won't even think about or even say,
Mm-hmm.
For example, this chick has this game. She has these dice, and on the dice it has every orifice on her body, and she'll roll the dice and tell me where to put it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, this chick is just insane.
She must have big nostrils.
Or I got a small penis. But
or you have a needle down there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But anyways, the other 3 orifices. But
okay.
You know what I mean. Anyways, my buddy doesn't know anything about it, and I think he might be catching on because sometimes I'll go over there before he's home, and we'll just knock it out, Hummer or whatever. And I got a big smile on my face, and I'll be there before he is or whatever, and it's just fun, and you know what? My girlfriend, she won't do some of this stuff, and I'm only 35, and I still want to do this before I get married.
Uh-huh.
And there were some things that I didn't think I wanted to do till she did them, and you know what? It's great. It's totally great.
Wow. So now, when do you plan to give this up?
You know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know, because you know what? It's fun, and as long as we're both mutually happy with the situation.
Yeah, but don't you want a real relationship with somebody you could ultimately your friends?
Well, I have a relationship right now with a girlfriend, but she won't do some of the things this girl does. And now that I've had a taste of that, I don't know if I'm going to keep the real girlfriend.
You mean you might break up with the girlfriend in favor of this big fat hog?
Well, no, I won't keep the big fat hog. But what my eventual goal would be to find somebody that does what she does.
Oh, I see. So she'll bridge the gap between the girlfriend and finding the next.
Right. Till I find somebody that does some of this stuff, because I'm telling you, dude, some of this stuff I never experienced it before, and it's good and it's fun. And I can just I can picture myself wanting to do it again and again and again, and I don't want to keep this chick on the side forever. And, I'm not worried about getting her pregnant because I was previously married and I had a vasectomy, so I'm not worried about that at all. But, I don't want my friends to find out because, the ridiculing will be just tremendous.
Wow.
But I'm just telling you, it's like, it's hard to go away from it. It's totally hard. And it's funny because I'll be over there drinking and stuff, and you know what? I'll just be like, and I know she's in the other room. And you know what? I'll just make an excuse like, hey, I'm going to go get more beer or something, and I'll leave, pull the car around the corner, and crawl through her window and knock it out for a little bit, and then go get some beer and come back, and it's funny. And one time I even did that with my girlfriend there. My girlfriend.
Your girlfriend was there?
My girlfriend was there. Check this out. This is a really great story. My girlfriend had a little bit too much to drink. She was drinking Jaeger shots. So she passed out on the couch. And so we had a party of about 20 people there, and we started running low on alcohol. So I decided, I'm going to go get some beer and alcohol and stuff like that, took up a collection, pulled the car out, drove down about a block down the street, parked the car, ran out, went over to where this chick's room's at, went in there, paged her from her phone, and she went in to go answer the page, and there I am in the room. We knock it out. I go leave, go get the alcohol, come back, and smiled, and later on that night when my girlfriend woke up, I did her too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is absolutely hardcore, John. Thank you.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You have a vagina?
Yes.
And you're telling me you have a hard time finding somebody to fill it?
No. Not at all.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll have sex with you tonight.
Did you want to talk to my boyfriend?
I don't want to talk to him for. I'm negotiating with you right now.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are, you and me, on the radio. It's Kelly on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good, Kelly.
Listen, I know you're talking about all these, for lack of a better word, gnarly-looking girls, but I had the news channel on last night. Talking about gnarly-looking girls, what about this Scott Peterson going out with this Amber Fryman? She's pretty scary-looking. What was she doing that, forget all the other stuff going on. You can't tell me she is cute.
Well, she certainly isn't my speed, but, maybe they have different standards in Modesto.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, if a husband and wife in the backwoods get divorced, are they still brother and sister?
Well, and the other thing, of course, is, let's face it, Laci Peterson was in the latter months of a pregnancy, and we all know how many guys need it at that time and will go out and get it.
Yeah, but I could see where these guys are saying they have a thing for a whole lot of women and all this kind of stuff, but, she's like a bean, but she's like a 15-year-old boy.
Well, maybe that's an example of what we're talking about.
Oh, my gosh. Even with the makeover, I don't know, but and obviously I'm a girl, so I don't know what guys, if I could predict what's in guys' brains, I'd be much richer and not worrying about it, but what do they call it, a butterface?
Butterface. Of course, how long will it be before she not only gets a makeover, but she'll be in a nude spread somewhere like Playboy or Hustler or somewhere?
What's she going to show? She's what? Like, she wears a 6X child. She can shop in the little boys department. It's totally scary. I just had to ask you those.
Of course, let's be honest, okay? Not, of course, far be it from me to disrespect the dead. But Laci Peterson wasn't exactly bathing beauty.
No, but there was something sort of, sweet about her. If you put the two of them next to each other, she just looks like she could be like in the Haunted House of Horrors or like a sea hag or I don't know what her. No offense, I'm sure I don't know anything about her as a person. I feel bad what she went through, and she's totally that's a whole other orbit. That's a whole other conversation. I'm specifically talking about the topic you're on, thinking what is in a guy's head that
Here's what is in his head. I'm not getting what I need at home.
That's probably the root of all affairs, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, but the point is, you go either for the shortest distance between 2 points.
That's very Dr. Phil of you to say that.
Hey, you know what, though? When I was a bad boy. And there were some times I went to the shortest distance between 2 points, and there were some times I worked to get something better.
Yeah.
And I was very bad.
Is it that hard for him to, if he's that depressed? There's got to be a Hooters in Modesto. For crying out loud.
Thank you for that, Kelly. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. Tom at blowmeuptom.com. And call our comment line. The number is